basement. We can go down a little further through the fog and
Is
see.
it warmer over there?
No. Not unless you want to go for a bath. So the first tank is sodium hydroxide, aka lime. It runs at about stroke 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
pH?
Probably 5 right now.
No, it can't be.
No, sorry,
sodium hydroxide.
so probably at 10, excuse me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And I was thinking more of the flux tank. And so what that'll do is remove any oil or residue, because the hydrochloric acid won't touch that. Most of our acid is probably less than 10%, because we'll bring it in at 33%, and we're dumping it into thousands of gallons of.
So you're diluting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is warmed, but because we have a heat exchange in the basement, but it never is above 60 degrees F to take any kind of into solution. Freezing, elevate the temperature up.
No, I'm just.
So
I'm fine.
what I want to show you though, guys, is because
I'm old.
so there's always work racks. We can come down here and I can show you.
I'm glad we didn't do this on Thursday.
Don't stick your hand at sea.
Come on down. So you can see all of the tanks have work racks in them, and even when they're working, 80% of these tanks have work racks on them. So you couldn't commit suicide by throwing yourself in there if you tried, no matter what you do. And it's always what most people ask me is, where's the acid tanks? The tank that you really need to be concerned about is the molten zinc tank. Because my nightmare scenario for the fire department is you come in and this place is pitch black. And even though we have emergency lighting, there's always the what if factor. What if something doesn't work? You don't really have to worry about this side. You have to worry about that. Now, as Bob Bessler said, you know, these are polypropylene tanks, and there have been galvanizing plants that have burned down because this thing will just keep burning. But as he said also, you have a full...
But this is all a catch basin.
Oh yeah, 150% of what the volume is.
Catch basin.
Yeah. And we don't give a shit about the building. Like you said, a new building is $300,000.
What's in here to burn anyway.
Nah,
So.
they'll burn though. They will burn. Yeah. You know, but as you can see, this is not where your problem is. Just to give you a little education of how the process works. So over there you have what's known as the racking stations. So we'll bring the black steel in and we'll suspend it by a wire or wires, and then it'll make its way through each of the process tanks. You have the sodium hydroxide, rinse tank, hydrochloric acid, acid rinse tank, and the last tank being the flux tank. And then how the black steel gets transferred over to what we call the grey side of the building, there's a conveyor down on the bottom, which is a chain-driven conveyor. Put it on the conveyor and transfer across in that way. But we can go back up. I don't want you to go through that because it's kind of greasy and you'll get dirty going in there. So if you want to head back up,
The acid is 5.
gravity is even more important to us than the strength of the acid.
Right.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's whatever I can take it to solution.
Well, that's your dilution.
That's really fun.
electric or?
No, gas.
Gas?
Yeah. They make electric kettles, but my God, you'd have some. You want a power station alongside you to feed the damn thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. The way most kettles are constructed, it's a very special alloy. Most of the companies that make galvanizing kettles, they won't tell you what the composition of the plate is. It's a trade secret. Now we change these out. There's two things that will determine that: how much steel you've put through the kettle or the age of it. Because the last thing you want is, you don't want it to leak. And they have. We've had kettles that leak. They can, if you don't clean the side of them, then it becomes a heat magnet and it'll eventually melt. And then it's a freaking disaster, I can tell you right now.
What's the temperature in there?
840.
840.
835, 840. We always have read out.
And I assume that's Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I hope so. we're in deep doo-doo. This is mostly how this thing comes in. It also comes in bigger billets, but they're all 2,000-pound blocks, and we'll probably consume at a minimum 2 of those a day.
Wow. What does that melt at?
Oh yeah.
No, what does it melt at? 800?
No, yeah. So, and then, as I was saying earlier, when we skim the top off, that little block down there is what comes out of this machine, and we put that back into the kettle. So Bob was truthful to some degree. It's 98% zinc, but we do add aluminum, and what that does is it the viscosity, so that you get better drainage on the pieces. Yeah. If you get into different type of, let's say, sheet galvanizing, you'd be adding bismuth. We don't do that, so there's no need for that. So you need to set up the barrel, right?
There, right? This is where it stays on.
This is good. I've got in here to hold that warm air up the stack. So you could be coming out in here. The gas shutoff is right outside that wall, and of course there's your fire and everything. All of it set up there. These lights stay on no matter what, and we also have a battery backup for 4 hours. So even though I was describing a situation where you wouldn't have an emergency light, it would be catastrophic for you not to have it. Something would have to go very wrong that we wouldn't have an emergency light.
What's this thing?
What that is?
Yeah.
So if one of the heating coils was to rupture,
Yeah.
and this started signaling that water was, because this is not supposed to have hundreds and hundreds of gallons.
Yeah,
going
it's a
through
flow
it.
meter?
It'll shut off.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It'll shut off. It's also on a timer.
Yeah.
The guys have to come in every couple of hours and reset it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's like a valve?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Please don't tell me that they've done it right.
This is the air compressor.
Low pressure dry. So it's low pressure dry. And so everything beyond it is dry. And they get a sensor broken or relay, it'll pop these all over.
So when that pipe opens,
That right there,
valve
that's
down, the whole pressure pop, slow the valve down. So when the air goes, you dump the pressure.
Yeah, more pressure here. Push that water.
But that's like, I haven't seen it.
You gotta do antifreeze.
That's right. I remember you telling me that about Huron.
That's what happened. They had both. Holiday Hill.
This way, they'll feed it and shut it down. also do the same here. Once you shut this off,
Okay. So to let the air out of the system. So one attic wasn't insulated.
it's a butterfly.
Now, which one of you asked about the acid fans, or how do you shut them off? Someone asked that earlier on in the cafeteria, because we were talking earlier about, let's say the acid area is engulfed, right? And right there. So those, we refer to them as the acid fans, right? But that's the acid area. So hit your red buttons and you kill them right there. These two here are for the exhaust fan which resides above the kettle. And you'll see why they're a lot bigger, because we're going to go take a look at the back. So that door. Yeah, no worries, yeah. And the door, the next door up is the boiler room where you are. Right next to where the stand is.
They mark inside.
Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. So these are one of these has 9 10-foot long socks. So it's pulling in and exhausting out. It's way oversized for what we need. But it was such a good bargain, we couldn't pass it up. And literally we just run one half.
So it's a great big.
Yeah, it's a great
giant
big
hill.
That's exactly what it does. Yeah, yeah. So what that is that's the residue from the MCR machine after we extract the zinc, and we actually sell that. Someone else will buy that because they have another machine that can extract another few ounces of zinc. Yeah. And also another byproduct is they use it for cosmetics industry. Yeah. So they take everything gets kind of recycled.
I'll get my sifting pan. I can find some clear white. I said I'll go get my gold pan. Pan that gets the zinc.
And actually, hold on, I want to show you something else. So, as you know, galvanizing is a reaction between steel and zinc, and so every grain of steel will attract 25, 30 times its mass with zinc. And so what happens when you galvanize something, some of that will fall into the zinc, and it falls to the bottom of the kettle, and it's called dross. And it's like dredging a harbor. Every couple of weeks we have to scoop it out and clean the bottom out, because the problem with dross is it keeps accumulating. Dross will make dross, will make dross.
And then you run out of
And then remember I talked about that heat sink where you wet, and then then you have a shit show, because that's what's going to happen.
So it's there's a lot of steel in this.
There's a lot of steel in that. Now we sell that mostly to India and China, and they're able to recycle it, get the zinc out, get the steel out, but you have to go to a much higher temperature that we have no interest in doing that.
Just take her right across the street.
Yeah.
So you're direct.
Yeah. Are you kind of orientated? You know where you are. Like the parking lot is always going to be out that way. Back of the building, front of the building.
Yeah.
And if you're ever in doubt, the big doors are to the back, right? Because that's where our yard is. And, you know what I mean? So let's go back in. No, I'm going to take you down below to the bottom of the kettle. It's kind of noisy, but I'm fairly loud because I'm deaf anyway. So, all right. So if the kettle were ever to leak, remember you have that annular space. So even if it's leaking up here, it's going to piss out, come down. Eventually, if it hits that, it's going to melt through that, and then it's going to fill up these trenches. We've got alarms on this that will set off all types of bells and whistles. We'll know immediately because if they're laid down inside, and it'll send a signal, oh, we got a leak. So the likelihood of these ever filling is very slim. We have thermocouples at the back. They will tell us if the temperature is going up or going down or anything like that.
They got an awful lot of clear wells on that.
Yeah. So now, when you actually take the kettle out, this stays. All we do is we loosen back the stays, yeah, take off the top, form a couple of holes in it, and push it right up.
So it's just basically a sleeve.
Yeah, it's like a saucepan inside the box.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And we actually, of course, we pump this thing down because we couldn't lift it otherwise. And there are companies that we rent. We rent electric kettles, and we can pump it